Hope you're doing well. So, today I want to talk about commonplacing and what I've tried to do, what I ended up scrapping, and my thoughts for what I'm gonna do next. So, if you go to my Tacho Kaigi, my first post, my first video here on this channel, you see that I talked about having those two sterling ink notebooks for my commonplace book. So I wanted to do this one here in caramel for personal development, for mindset, and I wanted to do this onyx one for my work, my career, my professional life. And right after I filmed that video and I was thinking about my planner system and what I wanted to do, I moved into a rings planner. And long story short, I'm not going to go into details about that. There's a video here on my channel explaining why I was downsizing from an A5 to a rings planner. So if you want to watch that, I go into details about what was going on and what I wanted to do. But I moved into a rings planner, and then I got this Filofax Molden to be my everyday planner. And I left this black personal rings to be my commonplace book. So what I did, I put this dashboard here. I didn't decorate it a lot because I was just giving it a try. But what I did was just very small thoughts or quotes and whatever it may be about some topics that interested me. So for instance, this one is Vincent from the first stop motion movie that Tim Burton has ever done, which is my favorite thing on earth. So I did a short entry about Vincent, about diuretic foods, and a little video that I saw, a short film on YouTube. And then here, so I had put on this book, I was reading the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, and I started writing it down here on this book, but I just gave up very quickly. And then I typed it here, but I don't know if I liked it. I don't know if it's the font or the fact that it doesn't have a grid. I just didn't like it. So it doesn't have much because I thought that the personal size was a little bit too small, but I also didn't want to go to the Franklin Covey size, and I also didn't want to go to the personal wide, and I felt like a commonplace in a rings planner just didn't feel the same way as it would if it was a bound book. Because the idea behind a commonplace book, and again, I'm not going to explain what it is because I'm not the best person to explain what a commonplace book is, but it's to have a one book where you're gonna write down your idea, not your ideas, but your thoughts about a topic, quotes, articles from other people. Again, I'm not the best person to explain what it is, so don't quote me on that. But it's just a little book of your interests, right? And I felt like if I put everything in a rings planner, I would want to then organize it. So, let's say that this book, this rings, oh my gosh, my brain can't work today. Let's say that this was full and I was going to archive it. I would probably just archive it, trying to find the common topics and put them together as much as possible, even though it wouldn't quite always work because, for instance, I have here something that is food related or body related, which is diuretic foods. And then right after I have a movie here, a little short film, an entry about a short film. So it wouldn't quite work, but I would do everything in my power to group them together. And I think the beauty about Commonplace is to just have that one book of your interests and things that sparked some sort of curiosity or joy or some sort of, I don't know, that it kind of caught your attention into a one book. And that kind of made me go back to this bullet journal book that I bought. So when I was trying to figure it out what I was gonna do for 2026, I actually thought about going back to bullet journal because this is where I started. I think I need to do a video about my journey in planning and journaling because I started with a moleskin, what was that? Moleskin, and then I went to a bullet journal. Just give me one sec because my mouth is so dry today, so let me take a sip of my drink. Yes, so essentially, I bought this bullet journal because I thought that this is something that I wanted to do for 2026, but spoiler alert, it's not going to be a bullet journal. So I thought about using this bullet journal as my commonplace book. And I think that it would work really well because the bullet journal, the official book, it's a 5x5 grid, and the sterling ink, I think it's 3.7 by 3.9. And I feel like when I write on here, things get a little bit more spread out. You don't need to write as much as if it was an A5 book from Hobonichi or sterling ink. And I love this book. I really, really love the bullet journal. I absolutely love it. I love the pages. I love everything about it. So I wanted to use this journal for something, and I decided to use it as a commonplace. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna transfer some of the entries that I put in this rings planner here. So for instance, for Vincent, what I did, I printed some photos on sticker paper, and I added more because the page is a little bit bigger. So I printed the same photos that I have here plus 2 more just to start, because I want my commonplace, my first official commonplace book, to start with Vincent. There's no other option. It has to start with Vincent. And what I did, I printed the poem, which is the script, the transcript. It's the actual short film transcript, which is a poem. I printed it on Tomo River paper because I've been printing my inserts for my Filofax on Tomo River paper, and unfortunately it's the bad batch, but I don't want to talk about it. I'm so absolutely gutted that I got the bad batch, but it's okay. I'm dealing with it. I'm not gonna return it. I'm not gonna waste money. I'm not gonna throw it away. I'm gonna use it, but it is the batch, sends them batch essentially. But I printed it here because what I did in my rings planner was to put the actual poem here, so I want to do the same. And then I also printed some stickers for the short movie that I watched on YouTube from 2019. So I printed a little bit bigger, because an A5 is way bigger than a personal size. So I printed some scenes, not even my favorite scenes, but just some parts of the film, because it's so cute. You should really watch it because it's the cutest thing ever. I'm gonna put the link down below. It's really cute. And then what I thought about doing as well was to kind of have this as my media book type of way, because I've been really into classic movies, especially here on YouTube, because you can find the classic movies remastered all for free. So I am just in a rabbit hole watching all classic movies, especially the ones with Vincent Price on it. So I started with The Strange Woman, which is a very strange movie. I still don't understand what it was all about, but I started with that, so I want to make an entry about this movie. So something like this, maybe something about how strange this movie was, because it was a really strange movie. And then I want to do an entry about The House on Haunted Hill, which was the first Vincent Price movie that I watched, and I loved it. So, so spooky, really, really fun. And I want to do this. So I want to mix my commonplace with some sort of media book as well, but not necessarily like things that I watched on Netflix or anything like that. It would be essentially more of the classics or indie movies or things that are not that mainstream, in the sense of I'm not gonna put, maybe I will, maybe I'll change my mind in the future, but I don't have plans currently of writing an entry about Stranger Things or anything like that, but we'll see. I change my mind so quickly and so often that I don't know, maybe I will, but I that's what I want to do with this book. So I know that right now it just looks like it's a media book because I only have short films or films, but I want to copy the entry about diuretic foods, and there are a couple of other things that I want to write about that are not necessarily something that I would put in my Filofax, because for my Filofax I've been just using it for daily log, a little bit of memory keeping, not too much. I don't like to just add like junk on my journal. It's not a junk journal, but just some daily logging. And I also have my to-do list, and I have the monthly layout as well, printed on Tomo River paper, so that's why there's a lot of ghosting on the other side. But this is up on my shop, by the way. This is a month on 2 pages for the Franklin Covey size, so if you want that, it's on my Etsy shop. And I also have my week on 2 pages for my daily to-dos and my schedule at the bottom as well. And this is more for my week, my day-to-day, and I'm trying it out. I've been on a Filofax, I think, for a few weeks now, and so far I'm still on the fence if I'm gonna do that for 2026. I don't think I will, but we'll see how where life takes me. But yeah, this is what I want to do. I wanted to just have this book, and I feel like the bullet journal is the perfect book for this because it's a book that I know, a book that I trust, and something that brings me back a lot of good memories, and I know how this will behave with time. It's not perfect, but I've learned. By the way, if you have any hardcover book or journal or anything like that, you essentially, before you crack it open and try to lay flat or anything like that, you have to literally, again, and I learned that from the bullet journal video, like the official YouTube channel. So you just get like 10 pages at a time, and you just massage them at the spine. And I think you do that with books as well, like any books that you have that are hardcover. And you do 10 pages at a time until they meet in the middle. And that's how you get a flatter spine, and that's how you also train the spine to not have any creases or anything like that. So I thought that this was really cool. But yeah, so these are my thoughts for my common planning. I'm so used to the Sterling Ink Common Planner that every time I'm gonna say commonplace, I say common planner because of Sterling Ink. But this is what I think I'm gonna do for my commonplace book. I don't think the rings is gonna be a good idea for me because I really want that book of curiosity, book of things that caught my attention, the little book of everything that I'm interested in right now in my life. And I just want this to be, at the same time that I want this book to be very pristine, I also want this book to be very worn off and very used, because it means that I had a lot to add to this book. So that's it. I'm going through a lot today. I think this week, actually, I think the past few weeks, I've been going through a lot, and I just don't feel like myself. I've been going through a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, and my brain is super foggy today. Like, I feel I feel like I didn't make sense throughout this whole video because my brain is so foggy that I can't seem to just be able to put words together into sentences. So I apologize if this video was a little bit all over the place, if my sentences didn't make any sense, just because I feel like my brain is super foggy. I've been going through a lot of low energy, anxiety, stress. My immune system is so weak lately that it's actually a little bit scary. I have allergies, right? So I'm allergic to a lot of things. And I do the allergy treatment with the shots. And I've been on maintenance now for over a year. And I go once every 4 weeks, once every 3 to 4 weeks to get a shot. And last Tuesday, I got a shot. And immediately an hour later, I thought I was gonna have to go to the ER. I was wheezing, I couldn't breathe, my body was covered in the most insane rashes, and I had to go back to my allergist. They gave me a shot of EpiPen, and they kept me there for an hour, and it went away. And I only had that once before, and I've been doing this for 2.5 years, so I only had that happen to me once before. And it was very scary because I couldn't breathe, and I don't have an EpiPen here at home because they're just very expensive, and I didn't want to buy one for, like, I don't want to say for no reason, because things like what happened on Tuesday can happen, but it was just an expense that I couldn't afford at that time, so I just didn't. And I've been also having a couple of other symptoms from high stress and high anxiety that my body is giving me signs that I just need to do something about it. I just need to stop. And I've been having silent reflux. And a few weeks ago, I couldn't sleep. I would wake up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and I couldn't go back to bed. And right now, what's happening to my body is that I've been having sores in my mouth and in my nose, and I can just tell that my immune system is very, very weak. I was gonna say shitty, but I think we can keep this a little bit without any curse words. But my immune system is very weak, and I know it's due to stress and anxiety, but I just wanted to say, long story short, if you made it until here, thank you. But my brain is very foggy, and I feel like a lot of things that I did this weekend and last week felt like a parallel reality. I don't feel like I'm myself anymore. And everything. Oh, and I've been having memory issues, like severe memory issues, to the point that I don't remember doing something, and I kind of like lose some hours in my day. And when I see it's like 5 p.m. and I don't know what happened or what I was doing, and I just know that I lost those couple of hours in my day, and my memory is just the worst. So I know that it's just a lot of stress and I need to deal with it, but journaling and planning is what brings me joy at the moment, like the most. So that's what I'm gonna be doing, and I'm gonna try this bullet journal as my commonplace book, and we're gonna see what happens. I think I have a feeling, if I know myself, which sometimes I feel like I don't, I have a feeling this is gonna be really good for me. So I'll keep you posted, but in the meantime, I'll just see you in the next video, and maybe I'll leave a little bit of me playing with my commonplace book, put some music on so you can just have me in the background. But I'll see you in my next video.